power of defined names in Excel. So it's a topic that is kind of different from what we've been covering so far in all of our sessions up till now. Today is the 20th session, so that means that out of 20 talked about, nobody has talked about anything close to this. And the guest today is a special friend. He's someone I've known for many years. He's a very humble person. He doesn't like to think too highly of himself or try to create this aura of like, I've done this, I've done that. What I tell you is someone that his depth of knowledge is really, really awesome. He's worked on many different projects for different companies for, across different industries. So he's someone that you should feel free to ask questions, So he's traveled home for Christmas. So it was not a small thing for him to even plan to be able to get all his normal setup ready today. So there might be a bit of like some point where I might need to share my screen for him to use. But again, I told you, he's someone that you should feel free to ask as much questions as you want from me. Seeing so much stuff. He sent me his profile. He didn't want to send me a very long profile. So I said, okay, now I know all of your profile. I'm going to be the one that will stuff up for you. Without spending any more time, since he's ready for us, I'm going to hand over to him. His name is Olukunle Babajide, and like I've said, I have known him for many years across different projects in different things around the Excel and even the programming side that have brought us together. So, Mr. Kunle, over to you, sir. You can share your screen. You can take full charge right now. I'll be in the chat box monitoring messages and calling your attention to anything that needs to get your attention. So thank you very, very much. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you for that. Mike has said everything, so there's nothing more to say. So let's just keep the ball rolling. Once again, my name is Olukunle Babajide. I want to believe that you can all hear me loud and clear. So, for want of a topic or the way to put it, so we, in agreement with Mike, we came up with, okay, let's talk about defined name. And this is a topic that in Excel, or a feature in Excel that is kind of let me say, overlooked, and it's so powerful in the sense that some of the things some of my clients requested for, the way I'll be able to go about this is using this feature defining and to make it easy. So I will quickly run us through the slides before we get into demo to do the practical aspect of this. So now, from my experience with Excel, not Excel only, but let me say in this IT world, I found out that the most important attributes of any object, but what we relate with generally are called objects, is the name. Let's take human being for instance. The first way that people relate with you is by your name. So names are very important. Like somebody, there's a quote here that says the beginning of wisdom is to call things by their name, which is very, very important. So now in Excel, we have different types of names. We have the default or standard names, which we are going to see. Then we have the defined names, which is the focus of this presentation. That's the crux of the matter. Then we have table names and the print area that people might not have noticed that it's also a defined name. Now, when we come to defined name that we are talking about, or let me say type of name, print name, when it comes to defined names we are talking about, there's a hierarchy in an application. Can you hear me, please? Yes?
Yes. I think your screen is like you are already on another. What we are seeing is your folder. We are not seeing another thing. It's like you are.
So you are not seeing my. Oh.
We are not.
Okay.
I just guessed as much that it looks like you are talking about something you are showing.
Oh.
I think you might have to stop sharing. Then you share your entire screen.
Okay, okay, okay. Apologies for that.
No, not a problem.
Okay, so
It's okay now.
okay.
Maybe you share entire screen.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Mm, okay. Can you see my desktop now?
Awesome. Yes, yes.
Good. So now this is the presentation.
I've not seen this before.
Okay. I think we can all see this one now.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Apologies for that once again. So as I was saying, we are talking about defining, and I said that with my experience with all this IT thing, I discovered that the most important attributes of an object, what we relate with generally, they are called objects, is its name. The names of objects are very important. And like a quote from somebody that says that the beginning of wisdom is to call things by their proper name, which I totally, absolutely agree with. So, and in Excel, we have different types, Excel type names. We have different types. We have the default, we have the the defined name, which is the one we are focusing on in this presentation. And we have table names, and we have print area, which is a type of name too that people have not really paid attention to when you set up your document for printing. So, and we have to look at the hierarchy of Excel application. We are talking about Excel now. You know that in Microsoft we have different applications, which I don't have to mention, but we are talking Excel. Now that's what I have love for anyway. So we have hierarchy, the application itself, which is the Excel. So inside Excel, the application, we have the workbook, then the worksheet and the cells, which is the intersection of rows and columns. So the one that we really use in defining is the cells. That's the focus here. That's the cell. But we have to understand it. And you can't get a workbook without an Excel application, and there's no worksheet without the workbook, and there's no cell without the worksheet. So that's the way it works. So we have to know what we are dealing with when it comes to defining. So that's for that. Then the Excel naming rules, which you can get from the Microsoft website or any other tutorial website. So the number one is that Excel name should not exceed 255 characters. So you can't have more than that. Then it cannot contain space or most punctuation characters, which we are going to see. And a name must begin with a letter or underscore or backslash. The Excel name are key insensitive. In other words, if you use my name as a defined name in Excel, like Kunle, if you type in capital letter or small letter or whatever you mix the cases, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. It doesn't see that as different Kunle. The case doesn't matter when it comes to defining. And you cannot use cell reference as names. You can't use them as names. Then you cannot use letter R, whether lowercase or uppercase, because they are reserved for keyboard shortcut to select the entire row or column of the active cell. So that's the basic Excel naming rules. And then category of defined names, we have the single cell we can name. Like I said, the what we focus on really is the cells or cell. You know, a cell, single cells, a range of cells. That's a plural, more than one cell. So you can name a single cell. You can name a range of cells, which is more than one cell. Then you can give a name to a formula and then constant. And the formula here is bolding because that's what we have to focus on. And I have this kind of that shows the hierarchy, so to say. Like A1 is a single cell. I can give a range of cells my cell as a name. I can give another range of cells, like maybe another one that's bigger than my range. Then I can give a formula a name. Then you can see that the constant is sitting outside. So because it's different from this one we are talking about, when you say constant, it means that constant has nothing to do with the cell. That's what we are saying. We are going to see when we start begin to do the demo. So we have Excel name scope. What we call the scope, that's okay. How are you accessible? Where can we find you when something is named? So we have the two types. We have the specific worksheet. which is referred to as the local level, and the workbook, which is referred to as the global level. And the way it works is that when you create a defined name, by default, it uses the global level. That is, it is accessible throughout the workbook, anywhere in the workbook, any worksheet. You have, let's say, 500 worksheet in the workbook, you can access it from any worksheet in that workbook. That is when it is global. But when it's local, it is specific to a particular worksheet, unless it is qualified. That's why I have qualified local, which you are going to see. That maybe when you create a name that is global in scope, but now let me say it's local in scope, that is specific to a particular worksheet, but you want to kind of use another worksheet that doesn't have access to it, you can qualify it, and once you qualify it, you can be able to use it. That's what it means. So those are the categories that you can really have. That you have local, then you have global, then you can have a qualified local. That's which are going to demonstrate when we are looking at a demo. So now, what are the benefits? So they make formalizer to make and read, creating expandable formula when you use offset, like most people know. Name ranges simplify navigation. They make formalizer to reuse. They make dynamic drop-down list possible and improve clarity and understanding, and so on and so forth. So now, in this presentation, what I intend to do is to share my trick with you of how I use define name for clients based on their request. The request seems somehow, let me say, complex, but it's very simple to deal with. You know, the clients come with different requests that you might not prepare for, but you must find a way around it. And I discovered that time, the first time I did it, I had to do it in a complex that I had to use VLOOKUP, which is the most popular, let me say, advanced formula. I call it the world famous. When in the course of the preparing for this presentation, I said, okay, there must be another way to work around this thing. And I thought about the choose function, which again is one of the very powerful functions most people do. They overlook. They say they overlook the defining feature. This is a function that, so I now want to combine the two to now share my trick I use in meeting those clients' requests. So we are using our focus is on how to use defining with formula. We are using formula, you can define it for a single cell, range of cell, for formula and constant, but the focus is in using formula. And I will literally say it's a practical one, that is something I've done for clients. So it's a practical one by the time we get to the practical side. And now, before we go on, this choose function, because that's what we are going to use, I want to say something, and they say with array constants. So these are tricks. So they are very simple, but it's just the way you think. Is the way you think around Excel is a problem-solving tool. It's a problem-solving tool. So once you can think about the solution, it's not how to use Excel in, let me say, providing that solution. So let's look at this choose function we are going to use for our define. So this will take us to the Microsoft website. So what I want us to, like, I want to believe that I can still see my screen, but what I want us to look at is how powerful also this function is. How powerful is it? I don't know. Maybe people from the audience might know, but me, I don't know for now. Any other function that can take this number of arguments that choose function can take. Look at this value. Value 1 under it, it's talking about, okay, value 1 is required, subsequent value are optional, which I'm going to explain by the time we are doing it. 1 to 254 value arguments from which choose to select a value or an action to perform based on index none. The argument can be number, that's literal number. It can be a cell reference or cell references. It can be defined name. This is where I find it very interesting. Oh, I can relate with this, very good. It can be formulas, it can be functions, or text. So practically all data type we have in Excel, it can accept it. And even beyond that, it can accept a formula as an argument, a function as an argument, then a defined name as an argument. That's very powerful. That's very, very interesting to me. So I just want to explain this choose function before we go into the so that's it. So after that, we take a question and answer. Now, to to see the practical side of this in Excel and to share the trick I've talked about that I use for a client request. So I will have to go to Excel workbook now. Michael, so you start to allow me to access your screen. Hello, Michael. Hello?
Yes. Yeah, sorry, I was on mute before.
Okay.
So I'm going to do my own and grant you good then.
Okay.
So trying to 25, then trying to go to screen here now. So I've done the screen share. So
I've requested for control.
So done.
Okay. Thank you.
Both of them are open. I don't know.
Okay.
First.
I just want to the first one that is talked about, not the one that is named demo. The very first one, just to. Okay, this one, good. You can see this is the goal. This is the goal we want to achieve. This is like now we have income statements. You have income statements that is just a simple data income statement. And the client now requests that, okay, based on my income statement, like I have a snapshot where I want the summary, something simple like this, that I want to be able to report in millions if I choose to. I want to also be able to report in thousands if I choose to. I want to even be able to report in absolute value again without any divisor if I choose to. Then if I have a foreign currency I want to convert to, I want to be able to do it just at the selection. That okay, maybe like I have exchange rate in dollar now, I want to convert those value to dollar. So that's what he requested for. Now for a particular amount, just to see the effect, the flow. That's why I added this one. That okay, if you select a particular amount, okay, you will see the flow. Then for the units, now you can select, okay, I want to see it in millions. This is in USD now. It's 500 to Naira, because you use Naira in Nigeria, it's 500 to Naira. So now for the USD, you can say, okay, you want to see it in million. Once you see it in million, the thing changes. This is in million now. You can see that the caption say income statement for the month of February 2020 in millions. So if you want it in thousand, you can select here in thousand. You get it, that's it in thousand. Then if you want it back in absolute value, so you say, okay, just Naira, I'm reporting it in Naira. So this is absolute value, and you can see the flow. So that's what we want to achieve. So that you don't have, because I've seen now, this actually, this was requested for a company I did financial modeling for. So they are one of their finance guys that should be the one in charge of this. Okay, we report in rand and we report in dollar because we have a company in South Africa. Say, is it possible that we just say, okay, type the rate and we get it converted for us? I say it's possible. It looks like me as if are you trying to say yourselves? So I say it's possible and it can be done. So that is what they requested for, and I kind of gave it to them. So I want to share it so that you know what they used to do is that they have to, okay, if they want to show it in million, they have to go and divide manually by 1 million. Then if you want to show in thousand again, they have to start over again, change it and divide everything, which is kind of rigorous and it's not efficient, it's not effective. So this is the goal that's what we need to achieve. So and with the power behind this is the defining feature with that choose function. So let's now go to that one with demos to start and show you how this is being created. So how I did this. So let's go to that other one, Mike.
Okay. Someone was saying that you can't see the screen. I wanted to tell the person that maybe the person should just maybe join or something. Every other person says they can. Can you all see the screen? If you can't, just message so that we'll know maybe has to do something from us. Or
Yeah, I can see the screen.
Okay, thank you. Please, can you hear me Zoom?
okay, yes, sir. Let me see. Okay, is it better this way?
Yeah, let's go one more step. Just Zoom.
Okay. Is it good this way?
Okay, it's okay. Now that we have a sample of that income statement.
Okay.
Now,
Sorry, just it seems 2 people or 3 people say they can. So I'm going to stop sharing, then I'll share again. Maybe it will help.
okay.
Sorry. Just, you see
Apologies for that.
that I'm really interested in how, and I'm sure a lot of people are interested because more people have joined the session in the last 5 minutes. So I'm guessing they too, people are like, oh, something amazing is happening. So I request for control so that I can accept it. Okay, all right.
Okay. Okay. I want to believe everybody can see the screen now. Okay, let's now we have a sample of income statements like we saw the other time. Now, like I said, we have different type of names in Excel. I mentioned in that slide, in that presentation, I mentioned about the default or standard name. The default standard, what I refer back to this standard name is that once you create an Excel file, definitely it comes to what we call the default name, like book 1, book 2, book 3, and so on and so forth. But you have to give it a descriptive name. Like the person said that the most important thing to a name of a manager is the name. So you have to give it a name. Those are the names that names that we are familiar with. The same thing with worksheets. But once you create a workbook, inside the workbook, at least we have one worksheet, and it will come with that default name that it says sheet 1. That sheet 1 doesn't really make sense. So you have to give it a name. So this is an example of a name. So just to drive home the fact that names are very important to objects. Now we have a worksheet that contains our income statement. So we now have to go and create another one that shows the summary. I add another sheet. I have to come and change the name. You can see the sheet name says sheet 1. So I have to come and change the name to mean whatever I choose. In this context, I want to call it snapshots. So we are fine. Now, from here, let's start creating the reporting, let me say, template that summarizes our income statement, like we have seen for that one. So we come to a cell. Let's call this place the period. So here, let's put a border, Ctrl+Shift+7. Then to this place, let's call this one. Unit of measure. And to the right of it, let's create a box too. So is this box are creating? They are not created though. So what's the issue? I want a border, so let me go for all borders. All borders outside, okay. Outside border again, same thing. So good. So now we say, okay, like now for this one, let's say we want to be able to report in dollars as well. Let's say USD dollar. We are not even limited to that. You can decide to say you want to report in euro, and then put the euro symbol. So I can come to insert. In the insert, you see symbol to the far right. Under symbol, Let's go for currency here. Let me look for currency here. So I select currency type or symbol. I can't see it.
Now it's already showing the
Okay,
pound.
okay, euro. Okay, that's this euro now. Insert. So good, close. So you can go as many currency type you want to go. You can say you want to maybe rand or pounds whatsoever. Just let's leave it for that too. So we come here, we put a border. Okay.
Also, should be working back again. There was something on my computer that was stopping it before.
Okay. So now let's put a border here, kind of, or to border up. Okay, good. Now, so let's first deal with this creation of our drop down here. Now, we want to be able to put a drop down here that select a particular month one we are reporting for, or the plan want to see the reporting. Then this way you select the unit of measure you want to use, remember in millions, thousands, or the absolute one without any division. There, if you decide to show it in any other currency, so the conversion, whether USD or Euro or whatsoever we choose to use. So let's start with now. We now want to start defining them. So we see different way we can define them. Now, but the concept is this, is the same thing. If I select this cell, this is what? H2, cell H2. And this can be clearly seen that it is in this what we call the name box or the address bar to the far left. You can see. So it means that the name of that cell is what? H2. Or the address of that particular cell is H2. That's what we are saying. So it's the same concept. What we're now going to do now is that, okay, instead of having this default name, H2, we want to give it our own name. That will be by defining. I want to define my own name. I don't want to use the default name of that cell like we saw for the workbook and worksheet. That you can change the default name of those workbook to name that you choose and worksheet to name that you choose. So you can change the name of cell, like we have seen the hierarchy of this application, the Excel application, the workbook, the worksheet, and the cell. Now the same thing. So, but the address is intersection of the columns and row. Which column is labeled alphabet and rows are labeled. But this is for, let me say, for ease of understanding. The real power in this, let me say, address is using, we have two. I'm not going to, I just want to invite two reference type. That is, we have the A1 notation and the R1C1 notation. In fact, the R1C1 notation is very interesting and very powerful. Even is the easier, but I don't know why they make this one the default and the multi-plan type when they start. But let's think that's another topic for another day. The R1, which is very powerful. But let's stick to this one that we have, which is the default H2. Now I can just change this H2 to whatever I choose. To say, okay, I don't want that cell to be called H2. I want it to be called HO2, water, whatsoever. So that was the concept of defining. So that's the way it works. But let's go back to what we are starting so that we maximize the time. So let's go back to this side. I want to be close to this side. So okay, thanks. So now, now, the goal is this. We want to take this cell and name it. We want to take this cell C2 and name it period that we have here. So, and there are ways you can create define name. You can create from selection. You can create from using the name manager dialog box, and you can create it from the address bar or what we call the name box. So those are the three ways I know. There might be other way, but me that I know. Those are the three ways. And they have the rest. If you create it from selection, it defaults to global scope. If you create it from name box or the address bar, it's also default to global scope. But if you want to decide determine or decide the scope in advance, you have to go and create from the name manager. Now, what I want to do and what I do is that every name I want to create in this snapshot worksheet, I want it to be specific to this snapshot worksheet. So that means that if I want to create names there, I have to go and create those names in the name manager. I can't use the name box or the address bar, neither can I use the create from selection. We are going to see everything. We are going to see how to create from selection, how to create from the name manager, how to create from what name box. We are going to see everything. So we incorporate everything. But where we are starting from, because I want to be, all this name here, I want them to be specific to this snapshot worksheet. So I want to create from what name manager. So the first one, I want to click here. This so I'll go to formula tab. Under formula tab, in the define names group, define name groups of session, you will see the name manager. I'll click the name manager. So now I don't know which name I'm having here already. Can you please let me zoom? I don't know which name I'm having here already. Okay, I can even zoom from here. Tax rate. Oh, okay, I have a constant. I have to delete that. So that's a constant we are going to do. That's what we are going to define last. So let me quickly delete that one. So I can delete a name here. I can delete. Okay, delete. So I want to create name for this. You can see C2. I say new name. So on my new name, I want to call it period. So I want to make it worksheet scope. You can see the scope under scope. I want to make this one worksheet. So I'll click this place. They drop down. Why is it not clicking? They drop down. Okay. I want to make it snapshots. Good. So that's what I'm referring to. I'm fine with that. Okay. So once that one is created, the name is created, I close. So if I come to this cell now, you can see the cell is no longer saying C2, it's not saying period. You can see that's why define names are powerful. Now I know that, okay, I have a period value that's sitting in a particular cell. I don't have to remember or memorize the cell. I know that, okay, if I need my period, I don't have to call it by that name, period. Very powerful, very, very powerful. I don't have to be looking up and down for where we say is that value is into. Although the value I'm going to have inside this cell in the long run will be a drop down of what the 12th month we have in the calendar year. So that's it. So the same process will go for the what? For the units. So we click this place. We go back to formula, then name manager. So new. Okay. We call this one units. Units, is that what you see? So we restrict you to snapshots. Good, thank you. Click OK. Good, thank you. So click OK. Click OK. Okay. Mike, I think you should be help me. Just help me. I will. You are the MVP now, so you'll be doing this thing. I will just be saying it. So that's now for the USD. Just let's click the USD cell. That's C6. Okay. Now we want to go and name that one. We want to call it USD. Just call it USD. USD, and make it worksheet scope snapshot. Good. Okay. Thank you. So let's go for the euro too and do the same thing. So all those cells now, we have changed the default address or default name, which is the intersection of rows and columns or columns and rows. So we have given a descriptive name. that we can easily access. You are fine. Good. We have defined all those names. Now, let's now come to cell E2. Cell E2. E2. Good. Let's go to insert tab.
Yes.
So under symbol. So because we use Naira in Nigeria, so that's the primary reporting currency that we have. So let's select Naira under the currency. Let's select Naira. Okay, insert. Good. Close. Put apostrophe. Million. Type million. That is million. Good. Then enter. Control D. F2. Backspace. I make that 1000. Then 0030. Enter. Control D. F2. Backspace. And the apostrophe 2. Then come to the beginning. No. Let's make that one. Say that's I want to add Naira. So in front of the symbol. Okay, type Naira as in word Naira. So just what you have and put that one in bracket, in square bracket. The Naira symbol in square bracket. Without space. But you can leave whichever one in square bracket. Good. Enter. Then USD. Type USD. Then square bracket $. Then euro in square brackets, the euro sign. You can make a copy of that, go and insert. Whichever one you choose. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Michael. You are doing my work for me. So for us to create the time. So okay, paste. Good. Now, what we want to do now is this. Let's now write the formula, the function. You now see the power. Although there is other way. There are so many ways to skin a cat, or how is it to skin or to kill. So let's come to that cell G2. Mr. Michael, come to cell G2. Yes. So equals to. Yes. Equals to choose. We are now using the choose function. Now choose. Now the way choose function works is this. I hope we have enough time anyway. So we have this syntax, this function syntax. The name of the function is choose. Is the first parameter is index num. It means index number. So there we have the value 1, value 2, value 3, value 2, 124 value you can use. Very powerful. In fact, very simple to use. But the trick we are going to use there, because when you say index num, anytime you see index being mentioned in a function syntax, it has to do with numeric values, number 1 2 3 1 2 3. That's what it has to do with. So how can we simulate a 1 3 now? In the order we have arranged these currencies, or let me say this unit of measure, millions, thousand, Naira, absolute value, USD, euro. So we want to be able to select them from the drop down list, so that when in position 1, we say, okay, when I select the first one, that means I want to report in millions. When I select the second one, I want to report in thousand. When I select the third one, I want to report in absolute value, no divisor. The fourth one in USD, like that. So now we can now combine this one with match, because you can't type 1 2 3 inside, although we can use array constant syntax. But I want us to use match. So Mr. Michael, help us type match. Now What match what? You want to match anything you select inside that unit cell, which we have named unit, type unit. So how you can use your name definer, you can see. Another thing I should mention here is this. You can even use a define name that is similar to any function name, except we differentiate them by the icon. There won't be any conflict. So you can use any function name as a define name, except we are set, because we have different icons that differentiate from the one that is a function. So you can see now we're now talking about unit now. We're now saying this because we have defined that cell, or we have given that cell a name that is called unit, comma. So whatever we select from here now, comma. Now we want it to be any of all these values here. So Mr. M select all those values here. Yeah, good. Now, as you have selected, you can see it's in edit mode. Let me press F9 or go to formula. Don't let us use keyboard shortcut. Let's just go to formula. Let's go to formula. Zoom out and go to formula. Good. Go to formula. Then say calculate now. Calculate now. Under calculation. Good. And verify. This is what we call array syntax. This is array syntax. I'm fine with this. So that's my lookup array, comma, then 0. That will be exact match. Close the brackets. So, and what match does is that match is a function. The choose function we are using is under lookup and reference. The match we are using is under lookup and reference. That is the function library. The same VLOOKUP that I first mentioned is under lookup and reference. They are all lookup, you look up things, but I'm combining the one now. What match, just to quickly explain what match does, is that match gives a relative position of a particular item in a list. It gives a relative position. What position is this particular item in the list of these items? So like millions that we are first saying, Naira in millions is in first position, in thousand is second position, in Naira is in third position, like that. So you now say, okay, once I select million Naira, Naira in millions, it means that is the one that I want to use. That's what we are saying. Then comma. Now, you now ask for value that if I select a particular one of these way of measuring units, if I select one of them, so what value do I want to let it represent or attach to that particular selection of that unit? What value? For the first one, which is million, I want to use 1 million. So I can type 1 million, just type 1 million as a literal number. Good. 1 million, comma. For the thousand, it will be 1,000. For the Naira, it will be 1, just 1. Anything divided by 1 is the same thing. Now, for the USD and Euro, this is where the trick becomes interesting, and this is where VLOOKUP fails. I know some of our guru in this presentation be thinking that we can use VLOOKUP for this, but it's true. But VLOOKUP fail in this context. I don't know, maybe I didn't know how to use VLOOKUP anyway. Let me just agree. Let me admit that. But this way, because choose is very powerful. All I need to do is that any value that represents USD, just use it. So type USD. You know we have a defining called USD. Type USD. You can see it there. Select it. Comma. For Euro, type Euro. You have a name. Comma. Close the brackets. Enter. Now we don't have anything yet. NA. That's why, because we don't have any drop down list yet. So in that unit, we don't have any. It's not looking up anything yet. So you have to put a drop down that we select from that unit now. So no, wait, Mr. Mike. Go to that NA. Go to that function. Go to the function. Then let me come to the match function. The match function. And under the match function, go to lookup array. No, go to lookup array. Just select match. Yeah, good. Just lookup array. Copy it. Copy the lookup array.
Yes.
Enter. Paste it in the cell. Paste it in the cell. In the cell. Paste it in the cell anywhere, any cell. Now delete the curly brackets and the curly brackets, and the double quotes, too, the double quotes, delete double quotes, the two double quotes.
At the end of everything.
Okay. Yeah. I was going there. I was going going to ask you to find and replace, but I want you to find and replace the semicolon and double quotes with comma. So I first want to take out the double quote first.
Okay.
You know that when something is going down the row,
Yes.
it is semicolon. When it's going across the column, it is comma. And those things we are going to, okay, just copy it. Thank you for that. Just copy those values now. Copy those values now.
No,
Just okay, we had change it to comma, right? Good, thanks. Good. So now you are taking advance for me. That's good.
Yes.
So copy. I will now take it to use that one in the drop down list under units. Drop down list under units. Yes, data validation. Good. Then we are going for lists. Then Ctrl V. Good. Click OK. Good. So we can now, Samak, you can delete everything apart from that formula. Okay. You can delete everything. You don't need them. Yes. Now just let's want to help us see what it gives us.
Okay.
You can see 1,000. Go and select euro or dollar to see sample, million, naira, 1, USD, any rate. Now we are going there. You can see there's no rate here in the USD and euro. There's no rate. So what we can do is that if you type any rate there, in the USD, that's the value you have there, 500. Good. If it goes for euro, type any rate, 600, and change that one to euro, the value should be 600. Good, fine, good. Now let's now copy that function now, the choose function. All this paparazzi we need is just to create the function for our defined name. So let's now copy it.
Copy.
So now let's now go to our formula, then define name. Good. The keyboard is shortcut is F3. Then new name. You can now call this one divisor. That's what I call it generally, divisor. Good. Then the refer to will be that. Okay. Fine. Okay. Good. Close. Then we can delete the one that cell. We can delete that cell now. Fine. So we are filling that for part of units. So let's go for the period. So let's now go to our income statement. We have seen how to create name with define name dialog box. So let's now see how we can create from selection. Now, for the first part, we want to create from a range of cells. We have seen single cell. All the one we have created on that snapshot sheet, worksheet is about single cell, and we use define name dialog box to create them. But we now want to create using create with what the address bar or the name box. And now it's now not a single cell we want to create name for now. We want to create it for a range of cells. Like I said, I will cover everything. So M is like there exactly good. Everything. Yeah. Go to the name box. Double click it. Then call it periods with S. Periods with S. Periods with S. Yeah. Enter. Good. Now that's now. We cannot. Let's now go. Okay, let's create everything. Now select everything. Select everything. Select all the entire data. Everything. Let me see to the left. Everything with the header. Everything. Select everything. with the row header, everything. Yeah, control A, we do that. Good. Now we now want to create from selection. We have seen how to create with a name manager dialog box for a single cell. We have seen how to create with name box, that is address bar for a range of cells. We now want to see how to create even the entire data set with what create from selections. Under formula tab, go to defining. You can say create from selection, create from selection, create from selection. Yeah, good. Just create it. You can see now immediately it says create name from value in. Now because we have both top row and left row, which is what we call label, we call them label. We have column header, that is what we are familiar with, and row header. So we want to create name for both of them. So and that's why except the text that we have these two, top row and left column. He wants to use both label. So that's what we agree with. Just click OK. So click OK, Mr. Mark. Bam. So now we are done with creating this. Let's now go to our snapshots. So from our side, let's go to inside that period cell, which you name period, just singular period. Good. Now we want to now use a drop down again. Data validation, the list. Good. Then source. Our source will now go to our formula. Okay, we can type period. Good. It's allowed. We can select it from formula, say paste name, but we can as well type it in. Go to formula tab. You can see use in formula. So you look for it, which is period with S. You click it. Good, and click OK. Or you can type it as it was typing, so you can type it as well, or press F3 to bring it up. So click OK. Good. So now we have our month now, our period. Let's just select a particular period. Now we have to go and format this. Let's go to format cell. So I like to format, maybe press Ctrl 1 or go to format Ctrl 1 will take you to format dialog box, or you right click and say format cell, whichever we want to go. Custom, I like the custom. Let's go to custom. Under custom, delete the general and just type 3Ms. 3M stands for the abbreviation of month with 3-letter words, 3 letters. So click OK. So it doesn't change the underlying value of that particular date, but it just format it. So we can align it. You can put it in the middle. So just align it to just look right together. So now we are fine now. So now let's go to that name box. Name box, the address bar, the name box. Let's click it. Let's click the drop down. You can see one drop down there. Just click the drop down. The drop down. You see all the names you have created are listed here. All the names. Let's scroll down. They are listed here. Let's go down. You can see all the names. But the one you are not seeing here, if you notice that, is the one that we created with the word, with the formula. But all those ones that we created that are based on a cell, they are listed here. Both the one that we created from the defined name dialog box, name box, and also from what? From selection. Create from selection. But one thing I want us to notice that when we created from selection, because the naming rule in Excel does not allow for spaces, when he now saw that the label that he needs to use in creating that name has space, he replaced the space with what? Underscore. That's why you're having April underscore 20, August underscore 20, December like that. So when you are creating name from a selection and the label you want to use in defining that name has space, so it will replace those space or spaces with what? Underscore. That's what when it's not a single letter word. So that's what happened there. So let's go back. So let's now complete this thing and see other things. So we have done major part of the work. So let's come here and say, okay, let's make a copy, Mr. Let's go to income statements. So let's make a copy of the row header. The row header, yeah, exactly everything. No. The row headers. The row headers, not column headers. The row headers. Yes, certainly. Thank you. Let's copy. So let's paste, no, not that, in column D. I prefer column D. And row 11. Okay, Control V. Now, so in E11, good. In E11, let's say this is the month, the actual month. Let's just type the month there. Month. Let's label it month. Good. And in F11, let's label it per month. We want to be able to compare. This is the way we work when we are dealing with reports. We want to see how well you have done from one month to another. So that's just so let's now use a formula now. In the under turnover equals to, since we are using 365, that's why I asked you to share my screen with you. Index. We want to bring those values there based on the word n particular one we select there. Now say our array now will not be, now look what's going to happen. Our array now will not be income statements. We have defined a name. We don't have to go there and pick those things. Income statements. Just type income statement. You see now, you can see the divine name. Just select it. Because income statement are two words. So we put underscore, comma, sir. Comma. Then comma again. Comma again. Then use the month function. There's a month function. No comma. Just backspace the other top comma. Just two commas. Okay, month function. Good. Then inside our month function, just say period. Good. The first one there, close it. Close the bracket again. Enter. It should spill because you're using 365 dynamic array. Good, fine. So let's go to the prime month. So the same formula. Income statements, comma. Then in this context, we now use month, but we now be EO month. We can't use just period because we are say prior month. We now be EO month. EO month means end of the month, end of not the prior month. So now those period now. How many period would you want to go back from the current period, comma? It will be -1. Just pardon us for all this paparazzi. So we just the divine is what we are after. You close the brackets, we are good. Enter. Good. So Mr. Mike, can help me format those two values better? I like the two results, entire two results, everything. Yeah, good. Control 1. Okay. Then Control 1. I don't like using. I like bracket for my negative. I like to see my negative in brackets. You can go Control 1 and go to format dialog box to change it.
My keyboard shortcuts are messed up.
Okay, no problem.
They are not working.
So you can help me use it with anyone with brackets.
Should
okay.
I?
No problem. It's okay. Anyone, so that we kill the time. It's almost time. Now you can see we are having it in millions. It's in absolute value now. So where the trick is now is that if we change the month, change the month to any month. Change the month to any month. You can see it's changing now. But when you change the unit, it's not even given in euro. It's still giving us in what? In millions. So it's not giving us. So we are not done. So when you now go to that particular, back to the formula, you can see it's still in millions. So we now say divide by the divisor. We already knew a divider. We use the choose function and match function to simulate. Enter. Good. I use the same thing for enter. Good. So when we now start changing those units, whether in USD or in whatsoever, it should be changing. So that's absolute without any divisor in thousand. So that's it. In USD, and you can change the rate. It will take effect in euro. If you change the rate, it will take effect as well. So let's just add. I don't. The time is up anyway, but let's just quickly add a graph. So to see, when you show your presentation in graphs, it's very intuitive than number. So no, just the first one, just the first month, the month, with the label, just the head. So let's go to waterfall charts. I prefer waterfall charts. Maybe I will be able to only show the one, the waterfall charts. Waterfall. Okay, let's just let it good. So let's now set every positive value as total. So you be right clicking on them. Be left click any. So then no, click again until it's only one that is right. Then right click, set as total. Go for each of the total like that, or the positive number, set as total, then the positive one again, good, set as total, then the positive one again, set as total, then so good. So we are fine. So okay, you can drag it to the right, you can select it, so you can change the theme color. We don't have the time, but the point is that we can even define name for charts and use them in selection like a drop down, but we don't have the time, so just to Mike, so I think it's time for question. When you ask a question, or if there's still time to take go on, but there's still more to show, but let's stop it here. So thank you, Mike.
I think someone's asking for a question, but are you okay with maybe we give him 10 more minutes to share then before we start taking questions, or do you want us to start taking questions right now?
Are you asking me or are you asking them?
I'm asking everybody generally.
Okay.
Do they want to give you more? Are they okay with you doing more, like maybe 10 more minutes before the question and answer, since you said there are still some things you want to show us? What do we say? Should he go ahead, or you want to start asking the questions now? You can type, you can unmute, you can talk. I will see. Okay, they say yes, that you should go ahead also. Okay,
okay.
They say you should go ahead.
Okay, thank you for that. Now let's do this one is not really intuitive, the flow of the econ statement. So let's now go and do the one that show, because the purpose of comparing the prior month and the actual month is to know how we have moved from let's say how our movement is from month to month, to see how well we are doing. Are we doing better? Is it that we are going upward trajectory, or we are going down? So that's it. So let's now do another waterfall chart. But before you do that, Mike, let me move that chart a little bit to the right, so that we have space. Right, to the right. Let's now come to cell H11. H11, good. H11. Type equals to double quotes, EBIT. EBIT is what we are. EBIT, no. Double quote, then EBIT, then you close with double quotes. EBIT, then ampersand, char function, CHAR. Don't mind us. All these things you can check them up. It's just to just like a line fit. 10, type 10. Then I explain the reason why we are doing this. Close the brackets. Then ampersand text function. There's a text function that will manipulate text. So we want to text function. Good. Select it. Then period. Now it will be EO month period. The EO month before period. Sorry, EO month before period. Yeah, good. Thank you. So comma -1, then close the brackets, comma, format text, -YY. That's the way I want it, -YY. Good, close the brackets, enter. What we are trying to achieve here, we want to see our movement from month on month. So let's say equals to, now let's call this one, change in equals to, no. Next to the change in, no, in double quote. You can still say change in space, then ampersand, then chart, 10, ampersand, then select the label, that turnover, select the label to the left, that turnover. Good, enter. Okay, you cannot drag it, just drag it for them. Although we are not using all of them, but drag it for them, sure. So now we don't need it for gross profits. So go to gross profits. You can right click. No. Control Z. Right click. Delete. You now say shift cell up. Yeah, okay. Good. We don't need it for EBITDA as well. Delete the same thing, right click. EBITDA. Yeah. No, we don't need it for EBIT too. Right click, shift cell up, then delete for EBIT. Then copy the first one, EBIT February 2020. Copy it, paste at the bottom. Paste it. Then F2. So we don't need EO month, it's just the period. So take out the EO month function. Now just say period. Good, enter. So now let's go to first one, EB 2020 in front here. What's our value? Equals to our value is what I bid for the prior month. Our value for prior month. No, EBIT is EBIT value for prior month. Now enter. Good, enter. So for that one, change in turnover. The way we call it, we say new minus old, right? Equals to new, which is the month, minus old, which is the prior month. Enter. Then Control D for the direct cost. Immediately, but for the change you do for admin, new minus old. Enter. For depreciation, new minus old. Enter. Then add everything. Sum. Control Alt equals to sum. Yeah, it must equals to the EBIT for the month of March. If you have done it correctly, it must be equal once you add everything. So those are changes. Good. So let's highlight everything. Now let's highlight everything. Good. Now let's go to our waterfall charts. And by the way, you have access to only waterfall when you have 365 and maybe 2019. So now I will select it waterfall, then set that one as total. Set the last one. No, just the last one. Yeah, you can set that one as total too, but the last one is the set of total. So you can go and set that one too as total, but it's already a total. So now the reason why we are using the chart function when we are doing that is because you can see the alignment of those label. You can see if you have not used chart, you can see EBIT is on top of the February 20. So they are well aligned. That label, that x-axis, you can see. So that's why we are using the chart. So to align them very well. So that's why I use it. So you can see the flow now from month to month. So you can see what has changed. Our EBIT in the month of February. What has changed to bring it to this in the month of March? You can see 10.8 million to that of 4.7 million. So we can see that there was a great drop in our revenue. Let's just test it and change to another month. Let's change it to another month in our drop down. You can see the change. You can see it's affecting, and you can change the currency type. Maybe in USD you see it. So let's quickly wrap it up, Mike. Let's put the two together. Bring them under one another. So I want to quickly show how you can even define a name for a chart. So let's bring them under one another. Yeah. So bring that one of the flow of the month of movement to under. Good. So move it to the right a little. I want to wrap up with this. Although they say right, no, to the left. No, my right. Okay, good. My right. No, to the right. That's be your left. Maybe left. A little more. No, a little more. Good. So a little more. Sorry for that. So let there be a little space between the two charts. Let there be a little space. Drag that one down a little more. I want to close this. Now let's create the defining for this. So select that cell K2, I guess. K2. No, it will be K1 now. Select K1. Now I light it. I light it to the area where all the chart is. Good. Now let's name this one. Go to the name box. Call it IS. Enter. Good. So let's do the same thing for the second chart. So you can define a name for chart 2 and let them in drop down so let's call this one MOM, meaning month on month. Yeah, good. So let's now let's scroll up. So we are fine. Let's scroll up to the left. So let's create a drop down list inside that E2. Or the sorry everybody, we see random drop down list, data validation. So list IS, the way you define those names, IS, comma, MOM. Yeah, okay. Good. Yeah, let's select one of them. So yeah, let's start the formula. We are using choose again. Yeah, choose. Choose anywhere equals to choose, then match. You can use array constant, but let's say what you have here, and that's IS, match IS, comma, with curly brackets, curly brackets.
Just a small stuff.
So what happened? Okay, you know what's going to happen?
It sounds.
Type inside cell, so I cannot select it from there. IS and MON. Okay, just let's select it from there. Equals to good F9. Or use okay. Now just copy like that. Good. Thank you. So we can now paste it here. We're done. Comma. So 0. Exact match. Close the brackets. Comma. So our value is IS. Comma. Then the second one is the MON. Yeah, close the brackets. Yeah, enter. So let's copy it. Don't worry, because dynamic array. So let's copy it. No, it's function that you copy. You don't copy the cell. Don't copy the formula. Everything. Copy it. You cannot even delete it. Delete it. Let's go to name manager. So we soon round up. I just want to show how we can use it for chat too. How powerful this thing is. So name manager, new. You can call this show charts or something. Show charts. Good. You have pasted it there. Okay. Okay. Now let's come here and then you can delete that IS and MN. No, that one, yeah, those one. Then make a copy of any of the charts. Just copy any of the charts, copy it, then come to the left and paste as picture. Paste special. Paste special. Paste as picture. Have you pasted as picture?
Yes. But I didn't do special. I just do picture paste.
Okay, picture. Okay, go inside the formula bar, type equals to. Equals to, and now I define name, show charts. Show charts.
Oh, okay, show charts, yes.
Yeah, enter. So now you can now select, if you select reference invalid, you didn't pay as picture or what?
Let me just, it's like maybe I didn't do what you said correctly.
Okay. So let's delete this. Delete and recopy. Copy, paste special.
Yeah. Should I choose link?
Feature. Just pay as picture. Yeah, okay. It should work. So
yeah.
So equals to in the formula bar. Then it should be show charts. So enter. Shouldn't have as far as you know reference. Should not. Unless we have done something wrong somewhere. So don't let's waste our time. It should work. Yeah.
Yeah. Shouldn't you reference E2?
Yeah. Let's go and look at the formula. Thank you. Let's go and look at the formula.
Okay.
Mr. Mai, let's go and look at the formula in the name manager. So can you zoom? What's the referencing?
So choose.
Oh, you didn't fix it. You didn't fix the match. You can see the match is looking at the last row in Excel. 1,048,176.
Okay.
So you didn't fix it. We didn't fix it. Thank you for that observation. So the reference, yeah, thank you. So we are supposed to make it absolute. In what cell is that? E2, right? So let's make it absolute. Good. Okay. I think we are fine now. Okay. So can now. So I keep my finger crossed. It should now be fine. Enter. Yeah, good. So when you now change the chart now in the drop down. So when you change the chart in the drop down, you can now switch between charts. So to change, so you might keep all this one as your charts you have prepared in another worksheet and just define it for them, and now have a single, let me say, visualization for all your charts, which is well labeled. That I want to see the month on month. I just need a drop down list. I want to see the total income statement from turnover to. So that's how to. Thank you, everybody. So that's it. Back to you, Mr. Mike, and any question if there is any.
Questions. This is super cool.
So and they all, you can change the month, you can see it on month, you can change the unit, and you can change the rate of the unit you want to see, you want to use. By the way, lastly, let me say this: you have to be careful. So what we do is that if you go to that USD, select USD. Okay, we are on euro now. Just go to euro cell. That's cell now. If you delete that value, delete that 750, you can see we have error because it's not being divided by 0. So what we can do in that cell is that we can put data validation. that says that it can't accept 0. Or there, let's quickly do that. That it should not accept 0. Or there, or data validation, so that we won't have that problem. So now, in the value that I want to allow, we have to use formula this time around. Allow value, formula, custom. So we are going for custom. It's custom we are going for. We now say equals to whenever that cell is greater than or equals to 1. Is greater than or equals to 1. Is greater than or equals to 1. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that's what we need to do. So to keep it, so if we type anything, we accept now. But if we try to type 0, it to give us that it accepts it. Okay, I was wondering. So you can see, you can't type 0. So that's how you can save that one. So just to quickly mention that. So thank you, everyone.
Wow. Any questions? Okay. So because of time too, I will quickly jump to our own question.
Okay.
So, Mr. Kule, I want to hear your journey. How did your Excel journey start? Have you always known that you would do it? Have you been doing Excel since your mother's womb?
Well, actually, the first time I heard about Excel was in our final year in school. When I was in school, it was a classmate that said, okay, do you know that when we are done, I read accounting as first degree. So when we are done, the tool we'll be using is called Excel. I said, Excel. So after we were done with exams, so before we went for service, I went to get a textbook on Excel. Without a computer system, I was just deceiving myself, reading, studying textbook without practicing what I was studying. So it was just a waste of time, so to say. So when I got my first job, so I was eager to kind of lay my hand on laptop or a computer system so that I could start practicing what I thought I was getting from the textbook. But unfortunately, being a junior staff, I was not given any system. So all I was doing was to carry files and those files. So I was just waiting eagerly for that moment. So the first shot I had at a computer system like this, I said, this Excel must. So I now started doing things, just trying to put into practice what I read. And if I can still remember, the one that really gave me serious problem is this reference type, absolute and relative. I struggle with this so much. So now in the long run, I was getting it. But what really took me into it, that the reason why, let me say, went deep into it is that I'm a kind of person that like to work smart and not hard. So that's what the power that's needed. That, okay, what I can do manually that will take me like, let's say, hours. It can be done. So I now started studying about it, going to join a forum, going to get material online. So that's so, and it has really paid off because most of the, let me say, promotion I got when I was working was based on this skill, because I was able to kind of, let me say, save time for company. There was even a particular situation whereby I was able to help a company to get to seal a contract that they almost lost because they need data to be refined that was like 700 million. I getting it, but I was part of marketing money team, but I was able. So it's a tool that I just felt in love that, okay, it can really help me to work smarter. And with that, I like this idea that you can just click a button and the job is done for you. And that was almost of my tasks was automated. So, but what led me to is that because personally, I'm a person that likes to work smart and not hard, and this tool enables me to do that. So, and I invested into it. So, and I started as far back as, let's say, 2008. Anyway, I'm still young compared to some other people in the forum. So, but that's the journey so far, and that's what I've been doing. So I just love Excel and VBA. So that's it.
Well, we have two more questions.
Okay.
So before I ask the two more planned questions, so Mr. Dapo was trying to confirm that the char 10 that we type is to create a line break.
Yeah. That's what it does. That's what it does.
Okay. That's a very nice. Try and use it even in other. And luckily, most of these things work also in Power BI, so it makes it easy when you learn something here. You can also use it in another.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for that. So the second question before the third one is, if you look at your career, if you look at your all what you know, all the amazing. I know you are very humble. You don't like to. It's because I know you. That's why I know that there's a lot you have done. There's a lot of experience you have. There's a lot that you have seen and gone through. But if I don't know you, I will probably not even, from the way that when you are conversing with people, you don't try to paint a very big picture of yourself, which I don't know why, because you are also in this consulting and marketing space, and sometimes all this paparazzi is what used to entice people. So my question is that what one particular thing, if you look at your career, how far you've come, so many things you've done, which project or what particular thing will you say has been the most exciting for you? It could be a project, it could be something you came about, it could be an opportunity, it could even be something you stumbled on, and it can be maybe something also not on the good side, maybe something that you struggled at for a long and it was very embarrassing. One thing that was very defining for you, something that was very unique, that was really amazing for you. That was kind of like I like the way the person we brought last week said, like a defining moment for you in this journey so far.
Well, okay, I can say that. Well, the one I can remember is when I joined a company. I joined the company towards the end of the year. I think it was probably in September, October, between those 2 months. So, and they just a kind of how will I put it? They just came into let's say now they are expanding. Let me put it that way. So they are recruiting a lot of member of staff, so a lot of people. So like we're in 15 finance. So we are just joined. So now, because when I went for the interview, the finance director saw my CV. And I saw a VBA on it. I said, well, now first it's just okay. Did I write the exam? They set up the Excel exam anyway. So I went for it. When I went for it, I look at the 5 questions. When I got to it was my time. I don't think it took me like 5 minutes before I didn't even take up the family. I finished. I even people thought I didn't know. Maybe that's why I left. So now I said, "Did I write the exam?" I said, yes. Now look at the screen, the panel, everything. Got everything. Don't let us tell me about BBA. I told me about BBA. Now let's talk about finance. But what I was going is that when I started now, they now bombarded me with a lot of data because of the interview and the way I'm proving myself. But fortunately, I was able to impress them. That I didn't even know that I really impressed them. So in a short time, and it was towards the end of the year that they have this finance end of the year party with the Christmas party. So meanwhile, the person that kind of referred me knew the kind of person I am, that I don't like going to parties. I don't like all this social gathering. I don't know, maybe they have found out other aspects of my life. So at the end of when the finance party now said, okay, we have to close earlier, and I have to be going. I said, you must attend that party. I said, why? He said, I must. I didn't know why he was saying, I must. That it's an appraisal issue. I said, why? Because he knew that we're going home straight. So I now forced myself to attend the party. So by the time I got there, not knowing that they were already prepared an award for me. Yeah. So all of a sudden, our group FD, because it's telecom, our group FD is a Western man, so it was not as so why they now do, I did not expect it at all. It was a very moment for me anyway, so I wasn't expecting, because it was a short time, like maybe 2 months I spent with them. So by the time they are now calling out the award, now say when I even first heard my name, the way he pronounced that, everybody turned to me. I was so I was startled. I couldn't believe it. So now that I got the award, so in a short time, just with my skill in Excel, so I imparted an organization, not a small organization, to the point that I was able to get an award even in just a short time beyond people that have been there. So now that was like a point of call for the anything Excel. In fact, it was later made part of my KPI. So what I'm saying is that because of what I've invested into it, so that's it. I wasn't expecting that. It was so kind of let me say, I don't know the word used, but I was not expecting it at all. So it was now kind of let me say encouraged me the more. That okay, if I could impart an organization with a skill like this, that they felt it to the group level. That's it. My FD will have told them the good level that this guy will tell them, because I remember a particular situation that they said they want to send a letter like an invoice, and it's in thousand for each of the masts that they are owing to a particular vendor. Blah, blah, blah. They have to be doing manual. I said it can be automated. And by the time I wrote the code, they just now put the list of those sites and the value they want, they put in the spreadsheet. They click the button. Once they click the button, the thing was just printing. Even the India guy that was in charge, which is charge of our the one in marketing, he was so stunned. He had to call our boss. He has traveled to Harvard that time for one course. He had to call that, see this thing, it's out of this world. They couldn't believe it. So they're able to get it down on time because you're just giving the fire. So I think that's one of the reasons that, let me say, caused them, or they made them to give me that kind of, because I was able to impart anyway based on this just skill. So I'm able to sell my story. So it was a defining moment for me, and I even got to a point that I established a relationship with that India guy and other people that till today, just because of this. So that's what I can pinpoint now. So that's just it.
Very motivational, in fact. Also, so the last question is: there are people here that they want to also get advice on how they can start. Like if you're going to advise somebody starting out now, what advice will you have? Like now, are things still the same? Can they take the approach you took? Or what if you are starting out today? How would you do things today? How would you go about?
Well, the advice is just three important things we have to do. I include myself. The number one is practice. The number two is practice. The number three is practice. That's it. It's a practical tool. There's no other way. You're into programming now, so it's not about theory. It's not that okay, I've read this thing, I've read it, I understood it. Can you actually do it? It's in doing. So you keep doing it. The more you do it, when I choose this topic, you ask me to choose this topic. It's not that I don't know it, but I still have to go and research. I still have to go and study more. I still have to go and learn some things because I knew I was going to present. I guess there's no end to learning, and you keep practicing. All to the point that I came online, I was still looking at some things. So that's just the truth. So you can't come to a place that what I tell people in training, even when I train them, I say, well, when they look at you, this guy, how you guys are saying, the truth of the matter is that I have not arrived though. Don't let all this say. But one thing is clear, I have left. But I've not arrived. But I know that I've left. I'm not on the same spot. I'm still moving, but I've left. So you can leave. You want to leave. And if you want to leave, you have to keep practicing.
Wow, it's a very, very unique and very direct and instructional one. It's a good way for me to start the year, to keep practicing and practicing. So thank you very much, sir. We are very, very grateful. I know you also run your own consulting service. So please tell us, how can people contact you? If they want to, what are the kind of things they should even reach out to you for? What projects do you do? What training? That's the only way we can pay you back. So we can only let you advertise your services, let people be aware, even those who watch the recording, so they can also be like, okay, this person, this is the person we want to reach out to. So how they can reach you, sir, and what they should reach.
Thank you, Michael. What I do, we are into this together. I train. Yeah, like you have said, I consult too. I train Excel and VBA, and I do what we call spread solution. I do more of that for companies that they want to automate their processes. Maybe things that takes hours to do or days to do. That you can, at times when you tell them that all this thing that is taking there, at the click of the button, it won't take less than 2 minutes. They find it very unbelievable. But that's what we do anyway. I do that. Then I do financial modeling, and as a finance person, I do tax management, accounting for companies, And because of my skill in Excel, it's even easier to structure things for them. So that's what I do basically: training, financial modeling services, spread solution services, and financial accounting services. That's what I do. And I intend to kind of start a YouTube channel that will be named Workplace Excel. So I want to start a YouTube channel like that to make using Excel practical in the workplace. So not just to use Excel in, let's say, to make it practical. The problem people face in the workplace when they are using Excel. So I intend to start that very soon. So that's another thing I can add.
How can people reach out to you? Do you want to give them, is it email, is it website, is it phone number? What should we share to them?
Okay, I can share my email, my phone number. My email is babajide@olukunle@gmail.com. My two names together, starting with my surname or my last name, babajide@olukunle@gmail.com. And my telephone number is 08039271344. 08039271344. So that's and it's my WhatsApp number as well. So that's it.
So the email, babajide@olukunle@gmail.com.
.com, Thank you. And I have another one that's a workplaceexcel@gmail.com. That's the official one, workplaceexcel@gmail.com.
That means there's 2 E because workplace ends with E. Then I should start Excel too with another E.
Exactly, yeah, correct.
Okay, so thank you very much, sir. And thanks a lot to all our audience, especially those of you that stayed to the end. We appreciate, and you even are the one that says, yes, you should go on. And I'm happy you said so because, this part that I did last, I don't know that one at all. So everything he did after that time, you said you should go ahead is completely.
Okay, are you sure you don't know that one? With your level of Excel.
I said this is my organ.
That's not possible.
So I'm not lying when I say that he doesn't like. He's a very humble person. He doesn't like to talk at the level at which he is, which is why me myself, I'm like, I will make sure I pick you out and make sure that people don't miss out. He's ahead of me in many of all the things. We have our different sides, but in the places that he's ahead of me, there are many of them. So I'm not lying. This for sure. We have a group on Telegram. You are no longer as active as before. Is it because of WhatsApp versus Telegram?
It's because of business, Jerry. It's not because of that. And we have people that have taken over now. We have people that are coming out. So we are calling them.
There's smoke is coming out. So, thanks a lot, sir. And,
thank you too, Michael. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.